Hey everybody, I'm about ready to hop on a phone call that I would like you to watch along with me because I'm going to be talking about video players for business. Now, here at iMotion Video and Video Buddy, we already use video players like Wistia, Vimeo, YouTube, of course, but I'm always interested when new video players come out because every single one of these platforms has their own limitations, and they also have their own pricing structures. Like, for example, some people will complain about some business solutions that cost a little bit too much because maybe there's a price per video or price per bandwidth, these types of things that limit them from being able to do what they want to do. So I found this new video player and I asked the creator if I could talk to him about specifically his video player and why new video players, and see if it's going to be right for my business and maybe if it's a recommendation for yours. Now, I don't know the answers to these questions. I'm going to find out during this phone call. So if you want to see if this video player is going to be right for you, go ahead and be a fly on the wall and take a look at this Zoom conversation I'm about ready to have. All right, so we got our Zoom conversation started here, and I've got Patrick Stiles, and we're going to be talking about video players. And like I talked about in the introduction here, we're going to find out more about this video player at the same time. So without me trying to explain stuff that I don't know, let's go ahead and introduce Patrick Stiles. And Patrick, if you can say who you are, what you do, and then we'll start getting into some questions and some hard-hitting questions to see if this video player is going to be good for not only my business but some of my clients as well.
Absolutely. Let's do it. So as you just said, my name is Patrick Stiles. I am the founder and the head honcho, the big cheese over at Vidalytics, which is a video platform for businesses that want to increase their video conversions. Before founding this company, I was an online marketer for the last 7 years. And, during that time, I sold about 2.3 million bucks of my own products. In just one of my businesses, I was involved in, about a half dozen other projects during that time. And every single sale that I ever made online was done so with the aid of a video. I think it is bar none the easiest and best way to sell online, especially in 2017. I mean, back in 2010, when I was getting started, it was kind of an optional thing. Not everybody had a video, but today it's kind of the default. It's expected. And then also it really kind of taps into the natural, like human, kind of emotional communication patterns and kind of bypasses that logical brain. So I'm a big fan of video, and that's obviously why I went out and built my own video platform, Vidalytics.
Okay, well that's great and everything, but we use a company called Wistia, obviously, and you probably use them as well. And of course, there's the YouTubes out there and the Vimeos. And stuff. So honestly, man, why a new video player now? What is this? What's the benefit of adding a new video player to the marketplace?
So I used Wistia for a good part of the last 7 years before I went and founded Vidalytics. So it was actually kind of the jumping off point for creating Vidalytics. And, Wistia is a good video platform, and a lot of people use it, but its use case is kind of for a different type of business. And I was using videos to sell, and I was living and dying on my videos being effective. And sometimes it was the only thing on the landing page that I was driving to. And when a video worked well, it was fantastic. I mean, sales were coming in on autopilot. I had revenue to expand my product line, to hire new employees. And I actually spent most of the last 7 years, about 5 or 6 of it, being a digital nomad. I was jumping from country to country every 3 to 6 months. And I've lived in 8 countries, been to 39 and stuff. So when a video is working well, it's fantastic. But what I found is when a video fails, whether it's right out of the gate or it fatigues over time, I didn't know why. And it was a big frustration point. And Wistia tells themselves it's having the very best video analytics in the world. They actually say that on their website, the world's best video analytics. And that's no longer true because of Vidalytics. And basically with Wistia, they have audience engagement, which is mildly interesting, but it's not always very actionable because you don't know, well, these people are dropping off. Are they dropping off to go and buy? Are they dropping off to never come back to my website? You can't even change the date range on Wistia's analytics. So I actually was staring at some graphs, some video graphs, and toggling between tabs, screenshotting them, emailing them to friends, and getting totally frustrated when I couldn't get a video to convert, especially in a market where I'd already sold over $1 million of product, right? So I knew this market, I knew the prospects, their pains, their frustrations, and I just couldn't get a video to work. And I realized I had this like epiphany moment, like these things are not as rare as like people make them out to be in the movies, but I literally had that kind of eureka moment where I was like, geez, these video analytics could be so much better. You could add a date range filter in here. You could add conversions in here so you could see where people are buying. You could see aggregate heat maps where you see where large groups of your viewers are skipping or rewinding so you can find those spots in your videos that are boring or engaging. and many other things like that that we put into Vidalytics. And basically, we did that so that you have the information at your fingertips so that you can, decide or know like what sells and what doesn't with your videos. And it's unprecedented amounts of insights into your videos to get conversions. And basically, I think it's absurd that you would have Google Analytics and heat maps and split testing and conversion tracking and all these things for your entire website, for the rest of your entire business, except for when it comes to videos. You're really kind of flying blind. And it's a big black box of guessing of what exactly is working inside of your videos. You would never accept that for any other area of your business, whether it's accounting or Google Analytics or your website, stats and stuff like that. So that's why, Vidalytics was created for that. And, going beyond that, we're putting features in there that just aren't, metrics and analytics and things like that, but are things that help people get video conversions.
Okay, so the name of the video player is Vidalytics, and obviously there's a reason. Obviously, you just told us the history behind it. It's about the business analytics of video, and so now, obviously YouTube has analytics, and we just went over Wistia. I use Wistia quite a bit, and yes, they do have the analytics in there. The thing that I wanted to talk to you about there that I saw on your website is about not only the tracking or the analytics, but tracking actual performance to sales. And so that's what I want to talk to you, or give me some more information about that.
Sure. Or do you want to see it?
Sure.
So this is the Vidalytics video analytics dashboard, like the vid stats page, right? So, and we have all these different things up here, and you can actually turn those off so you don't over clutter your graph. And this right here is the world's very first video conversion tracking. So you can actually see where in the video people are watching to before they go and convert. So this only happens if somebody watches this video before making a purchase. We track those purchases, those conversions on your website by creating a conversion script inside of your Vidalytics dashboard. And then you just drop it on your receipt page, on your email opt-in page, whatever a success or thank you page is for a conversion action that you want to track. And you can actually see down here that we're also tracking not just total conversions, but conversion rates, average order size, and revenue. These can be dynamic values that you pass back into Vidalytics. And then you see it right in here inside of the video. You mouse over and you see the spot in the background of what is actually happening in this video at this point where people are going and buying. So before, this is the only thing you ever had. This is the only metric that Wistia has. You can't even change the date range on it. You can't even turn it on and off. You can't expand the graph or anything like that. These are all things that we put into Vidalytics. And one thing that's really slick is that we have segments, right? So you can drill down on different groups of users and see how they're watching your videos. So these are buyers and non-buyers of how they watch the video. So audience engagement of this video separated into the two groups of people that purchased and people that didn't purchase. And you can actually turn this off here. And this is how buyers watch this video. And this is another way to kind of slice and dice this information so that you can see really, what matters most to these people that are buying here.
I got you. So you're separating the views of the people who actually bought because of the video, and then also the views of people who didn't buy. So you can kind of analyze both simultaneously.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then we have other ones here, like another really cool one that I like is first-time viewers and repeat viewers. So these are new and returning visitors. And you can see that there's about 700 returning, 7,000 new ones. And their audience engagement, right, where they're watching to in the video is pretty similar. But when we add in conversions, it's a totally different story in this case, where the new visitors are, converting really kind of like, the overall trend of the video. But then the returning visitors, if we just want to look at them, most of them are buying in the very beginning here, or a good amount of them are buying in the very beginning here. There's new data on this graph since I last looked at it. So, several of them, three of these conversions out of 11 happen in the first 18 seconds, and then a few more happen at the very end. So, this is saying that, these returning visitors are not really engaging with this video that much. Well, they're engaging with it, but they're not buying from it. And what that tells me is that they're probably on the fence, that they're probably, in indecision, in inaction. They don't really, not sure if they want to move forward with it. So they're actually getting sucked back into the video. It's a long one here at 24 minutes, and they're getting into that story, and they're actually consuming it while they should be actually, going and taking action. So like an easy optimization, like with this type of information right here, would be to send these returning visitors to an order form with a countdown timer, and because they've already seen the video, they already know the story, they already know the product, the benefits, and the price, it's time to, ask for the order and close the sale.
Okay, so Vidalytics, obviously there's, I'm going to dive into this and take a look at all these. And I'm already excited about the different things that it can do, only because I haven't seen this on other players. So this is
Yeah.
definitely something I'm going to be experimenting with
Mhm.
and taking a look at that. Now, let's talk about, now we do a lot of videos for influencers and brands that
Mhm.
are like
Sure.
on YouTube. Now, they need to, there's a time when you need to be on a native platform like Facebook or YouTube.
Mhm.
So, tell me about how like a video player like this can help brands and influencers that are actually on these platforms.
Sure. So a lot of people kind of like have a misconception around YouTube that it's just a video platform, right? Or it's a video player, and it's much more than that, right? YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world in a very big, very real way. It's actually one of the largest social networks out there with comments and channels and all this stuff. So it's more of an ecosystem of videos, right? Where it's user generated content in the form of videos, right? You go to Facebook and you're posting pictures and you're posting status updates. You go to YouTube and you're posting videos or you're watching videos. So YouTube is fantastic at generating audiences, at generating traffic, at generating those, kind of influencer platforms, right? And I know people that are making, 5 figures, passive income part-time just by posting videos on YouTube that are then driving to their brand sites and closing sales and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of YouTube for that kind of purpose there. But then when it gets to actually selling and closing and making a sale on your website, that's a totally different kind of transaction. That's a totally different thing. So first off, you have to have the links on the YouTube player that point back to YouTube. That's a big reason why they let you embed their videos on your website. And some people take those out, and that's actually a direct violation explicitly listed in their terms of service. So you're asking for them to shut down your videos. So you have to have those links, right? So if you're trying to get a sale and you're trying to get a conversion on your website, and you have links pointing to YouTube, which is packed with your competitors' videos, it's packed with, cat videos and all this different stuff. That's a total ADD playground. That's a big hole in your funnel that you don't really want. In addition to that, you want to make the sale. You want to understand where people are watching to, what they're responding to, and what those messages are actually doing inside of the video. And then we also have some other features like mobile autoplay, and we're releasing custom pause screens and stuff like that that are going to help conversions. But the last thing that I want to say on this topic is that if you go over to Google Play, which is one of the only places where Google is actually doing conversions. It's making sales, right? Because most of the time they want you to do searches or they want you to keep watching videos, right? Because I think it's 95% of their revenue is from ads, right? But on Google Play, they're actually selling stuff. So if you go there and look at their movies, they have trailers for all their different movies, and they're not using YouTube for those trailers. And you got to ask yourself, what does Google know that I don't know if they're not using YouTube on googleplay.com, or whatever it is, play.google.com, I guess. And it's because, YouTube is not the best player for getting conversions, So they know that they want to trap off those, escape points for the users that, when they're trying to make a sale.
Okay, so to summarize, I think what I heard you say.
Sure, yeah, I might have got a bit long-winded there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
For influencers and brands, obviously, there's always a time and place for using native platforms, right? Especially if you want to get views, or if you're trying to do like retargeting and stuff like that on Facebook, then of course you need to use that Facebook player. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to do, if you're attracting your audience through YouTube, through shares, and you want the fact that, that the other videos are on there. For influencers, that's great. But then if they've got their websites, this is more for businesses, brands, and influencers who have videos on their own websites.
Yeah.
So once you get them off of the native platforms, this is where you want to track. Now you can still make YouTube style videos. You can still make the same style. It doesn't matter.
You have the same video.
Yeah, you can have the same video, but on a different player. Or you could have something that continues the conversation. So I guess that's what I'm hearing you saying, that the Vidalytics is, it's not a replacement for platforms, but it's to enhance whatever you do in a business.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you remember this, but back in like 2006, 2007 or so, all the businesses were rushing to Facebook, and you would see things like find us on Facebook, and they were trying to drive everybody to Facebook to go there. But it's like, these brands were kind of short-sighted because they thought it was the hot commodity at the time. But yet, you know, a lot of those brands have been kicked off Facebook, or they just found that like Facebook changed its algorithms and they weren't in control of that. So basically, it's like saying, hey, just because you have a Facebook page doesn't mean that you don't need a website,
Sure.
right? So it's a direct analogy there,
Yep.
where, you know, it's you know, they serve different purposes.
Okay, so talking about Facebook, obviously you can embed YouTube videos in Facebook. If somebody were to take like Vidalytics and put a video in Facebook, is it going to track? Do you know? I mean, have you tested this enough to know if it's going to be able to track
Sure.
Vidalytics? Obviously, you're not going to get the Facebook tracking, but
Yeah.
are you going to be able to get the tracking in Vidalytics?
So we actually haven't built that integration yet where you can share the videos and stuff like that. So like where we're starting is on video conversions on the websites and stuff, and like later getting into the sharing the videos on Facebook and things like that. So, you know, depending on like the requests that we get coming in from our user base, you know, we'll be prioritizing those types of builds that we can do. So, and I think it is something that we can get.
Consider this the very first request.
The very first request. All right, I'll write it down. So, yeah, Facebook stats. So, yeah.
Well, or not just Facebook, any place where you can like, you know, share your video. Well, I'm thinking, you know, mainly Facebook, LinkedIn, things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
okay. So talking about that here, I want to get through some of these questions here that are going to be pressing for these guys that are watching here. You know, so obviously, you've got some plans for the future. So what are the plans for the immediate future of this particular player?
Sure. So one that we just released, so it's actually out there and you can get it now. And I've already mentioned it, but it's so cool and it's the industry first. So I kind of want to mention it again, is mobile play on, autoplay on mobile devices. So I can actually show you really quick here.
All right.
So I'm clicking a link here and I'm going over to this page, and you can actually see that the video is playing there in the background, and it has an overlay that says tap for sound. And then you tap, and then it starts playing. So, so that is something that doesn't exist anywhere else, especially in this type of ease and format where you can easily, you know, unmute the player and stuff like that. So upwards of 70% of traffic is mobile. And if you're trying to get a conversion, you know, the name of the game is grabbing the attention and bringing them into your sales message.
That's a huge feature. You're not going to get it on YouTube right now. You're not, you know, so like say for example, if I want to bring somebody to Video Buddy and I wanted to put a sales page up there, and most of these people are going to be coming from mobile anyways, because we bringing them in from Facebook. As soon as they get there, they will see that video playing. Now, obviously the audio is not going to be there, but
that's right.
It's going to feel like a Facebook autoplay is what.
Absolutely, which is really seamless with the Facebook autoplay feature. It's quite
okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other, now that you said, now that was plans, now that's actually in effect right now.
That's released, yeah. We just released it in the last week, and already we have, I don't want to drop any names because I haven't asked their permission, but we have some 8 to 9 figure companies that are like immediately interested in testing this and stuff. So
absolutely, who wouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
So what about long-term plans for the future?
Sure. So, well, these are kind of short and long term, and it's kind of going back to like the Facebook thing where, you know, it just kind of depends on like the requests that we get like coming in from our user base. But one thing that we're building right now is custom pause screens. So this is something that really nobody does out there, but you know, you're watching a video and maybe you don't have time for it, or you're in public, you don't want the audio, and you pause it. And what does it do? It just freezes that frame on the video. And that's like a wasted opportunity to send another message to the prospect, to the viewer, you know, especially because if they're pausing, they're likely going to bounce, but you can suck them back into that. So we're going to have custom pause screens that are going to be like thumbnails that would typically be on the video before it plays. And that will only be seen if the video was paused throughout it playing.
Very cool.
We're going to be doing some email platform integrations. We're going to be doing a retargeting integration where you can retarget users across the web, across Facebook, based on how much of a specific video they watch. You can tag people in your email platform, whether it's like ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft, some of those and others, where, you know, you can say like, hey, prospect watched, you know, product ABC, or the refund video, and you could send out, you know, some anti-churn kind of videos or content to that person, you know, to make sure that they don't do a refund, those types of things.
Sure. So kind of reverting back to what, instead of like the long-term and short-term plans, back to like what's available now, do you have inside your player, do you have the ability to subscribe, like, you know, connect with CRMs and things like that? Are there any call to actions, or is this mainly right now for the analytics and the autoplay of the mobile?
Yeah, no, this is, yeah, so we don't have those CRM integrations, and I would say that those are short-term plans to start building on next.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so after some of these other kind of features like the custom pause screen, which, you know, should be released this week. It's a pretty small feature to build.
All right. Let's also talk about a lot of people when they take a look at these business platforms, people who have, you know, dozens of videos, maybe even 100 or 200 videos.
Sure.
You know, some of these business players are out because they charge by, you know, by how many videos you have, or, you know, how much bandwidth you have. So how are you tackling that, and how are you being competitive?
Sure. So I'm actually glad you brought this up, because it's a change that we just rolled out this week, is that we have some new plans out there to specifically address this. And so right now with all of our plans, you can get unlimited video uploads. So we're not capping that number at all. So, you know, we're probably going to, in the short term, you know, like put some very reasonable caps in there. But like on the pro plan, which right now is just $50 a month, and comes with 250 gigs of bandwidth. I'm sorry, it's actually $47 a month. So that is less than half the cost of Wistia, who we were talking about earlier, right? So right now it's unlimited videos. In the future, it would probably be anywhere, the very lowest we're probably going to go in the short term would be 500 videos on that, just so that it's plenty of space, so that, you know, these people, like you yourself running Video Buddy, I'm sure that you have, you know, hundreds, if not thousands of videos. So, you know, we don't want that to be a stumbling block. We're in the business of being a video player, being a video platform for you to get conversions, not to nickel and dime you for storage of your videos.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, great. So that kind of that answers one of the questions I was going to ask. You know, how can you help creative agencies and video production teams like myself, where we need to have like instant availability? Somebody says, "Hey, do you have a video about an attorney? You know, can you show?"
Sure.
I can say, "Sure, here's all of these things," without having to go to YouTube, or, you know, maybe put them on Amazon S3 and try to figure out where those things are at.
Yeah, it's a huge pain.
Okay. So, and then also for marketers, obviously, if we have, you know, not to be afraid to upload videos, which is why, let's be honest. Why do most people use YouTube? Because it's free, right?
Yeah, it's free. It's free. It's the default option. It's easy to do. So absolutely. It's kind of it's that path of least resistance.
Yep. I mean, other than people that are using it for the social platform of it, which is, you know, a lot of people are building their influencer marketer through that. You're not going to, you know, it's hard to replace that. But at the same time, for, you know, for business videos like me, you know, or a lot of marketing companies that need to have, that don't necessarily want to have something on YouTube, even though you can unlist it and all these other things, they'll share it. If, you know, there's certain things you can do, which brings up one final question. What about security? Sharing, do you have anything in place for that?
So we don't have anything like officially in place for anti-sharing, but, you know, that's a pretty easy thing to build for us. So if it's something that, you know, matters, we can easily do that. Right. You know, these aren't shareable links and stuff like that. So if somebody has the URL, they, you know, so like Wistia has pages where you can, it's, you know, it's like, you know, joe.wistia or something like that, where, you know, it's your videos listed. So we don't have that. So you have to embed it on a page. So somebody would actually just have to share your page or something like that in most instances.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I've got enough information here to at least want to play around with this. So you've got right now, it's for like $50 a month, basically $47 a month.
Yeah, I screwed that up. Yeah.
You've for $47 a month, you've got unlimited videos.
That's right.
You have a cap on bandwidth there, but that's only because that's the most expensive part.
Yeah.
And
that's less than half the cost of Wistia's. So it's 20 cents per extra gigabytes if you go over that 250. And we actually have a free plan right now that is 25 gigs of free bandwidth, unlimited videos as well. And then if you go over that 25 gigs, it's not like you got to suddenly go from 0 to 47 and upgrade to the pro plan. You can actually just pay 25 cents a gig for any overage there. This is something that I've never, ever seen in my life. And I think it's really unfair when I've been using like heat map tools or other things that are kind of in these like usage-based plans. And it's like, okay, so maybe for 1,000 page views, it's free. But what if I have 1,001? I suddenly got to pay $50 a month. That's really annoying when I only like, you know, have an extra, you know, 1 page view or something like that. So we want it to be totally seamless and really where you don't pay for anything that you're not using. Because at least for me, like that really bugs me when, you know, like whatever it is, if I pay for something and I don't wind up using it. So on the free plan, if you go over the 25 gigs that are totally free, then you just pay 25 cents. So then if you go up to 200 gigs, it would only be $50. Obviously, it would make sense to upgrade to the pro plan at that point, but that is still half the cost of Wistia's. And that free plan is actually a unbranded player for the time being. And, we're making lots of changes and stuff like that. We're experimenting ourselves. But that's something that you could go out and grab.
So right now, everything's unbranded. You don't have to worry about video, the amount of videos that you have, which is a big pain in a lot of the marketing groups that I'm in. A lot of people are like, hey, listen, quite frankly, I love Wistia because I'm grandfathered into the ridiculous way.
Yeah, which they're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So,
They're not. I wouldn't be able to, and I feel their pain because I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do what I do in my business either with Wistia because it would just be too much, right? And so, but with this one right here, I like the fact that it is unlimited. I like the fact that you've got a very reasonable rate. I mean, $47, and that's the start off rate.
Well, the start off rate is free. So, so say you use 26 gigs, right, on the free plan. So you have one option, don't put in a credit card and we'll just turn off your videos until the next month, right? So that's option one. You don't have to pay us money, right? Option two is, hey, you don't want your videos going down. So put in a credit card. If you use 26 gigs, we're going to charge you 25 cents. And the next month, if you use 25, you're not going to have a bill. So the jumping off point is zero, all right? If you want more bandwidth and stuff like that, then, you can upgrade to the pro plan. And, we're going to be changing this. So we'll probably have a video cap on the free plan, because that's, reasonable, we think, for you to just have a couple of videos in that free plan and stuff like that. But it's going to be the same thing where you don't have to immediately jump up to the pro.
But as of now, June 2017, you've got free plans. Let's get some people in here. Let's start with the analytics. And then eventually we'll find out, hey, is this the platform that's going to work for us? I don't see any reason not to join up. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to sign up. I like the demo that you gave me. Obviously, I've got a lot of questions, but that will come from playing around with the videos and actually, driving traffic to these videos to see what happens, right?
Absolutely.
Now, also, let's talk about one last thing about this video analytics here. Is it how do you interact or how do you integrate it with your website?
So, all right. So it works like any other video platform where you upload your video and then we transcode it and convert it into different formats in the background, and we store it on our thousands of servers around the world so that it's ready to play at blazing fast speeds on any device out there. So it can play on, PCs and Macs and iPhones and Androids, all that. All right. And then, so you upload it and then we do all that in the background. You customize it. So you pick your colors, what buttons you want. You pick if you want it to autoplay and things like that. And then once you do that, you publish it, you grab your embed code and you drop it on any web page on your website that you want it to play, and that's it. And
so it's a pixel. It's basically it's a pixel.
So it's baked into the video player. So if from your perspective, whether you're uploading to Wistia or you're uploading to YouTube or something like that, it's absolutely no different. The only thing would be if you're tracking conversions, that's an extra step where you would create a conversion script action in our dashboard. And this is where you have different settings, like as if it's AdWords, where it could be, hey, I only want to track one conversion per visitor, or all conversions from a visitor, a dollar amount, a name, a window, where you want to track those conversions back to a video. And then it generates a script and you drop that on any page that is a successful conversion action. So you can track specific products, upsells, newsletter subscribes, anything like that.
Hey, I tell you what, right now for being free, and obviously since you're, are you considered a startup company or?
Sure.
Okay, so for being a startup company, you're still playing around with pricing, with metrics, how people are going to actually use this. Yeah. Right now, though, guys, if you're watching this, there's no reason not to get on this. I've never been in this dashboard. I literally met Patrick a few days ago. I think I found him on a Facebook feed or something like that, and I contacted him and said, let's have a phone call and have a discovery phone call that I can record and share. So, everything you guys are learning right now, I'm learning at the same time. There's no affiliate relationship here. I don't have any skin in the game on this. But Patrick, it's nice to meet you, and I'm glad
thank you very much.
Share this with my team and with my clients and with any of the followers that we have. Anything that you want to add, anything that you want to share about your company or about yourself?
Sure. I'll mention a few things. One, so We are going to be doing agency accounts. So this is just something that you mentioned earlier for like agencies. How would this help them? So one, you have those analytics that's like, the burden of proof that you're actually performing good work, that you're better than the other, agencies out there. But then we're also going to have agency accounts. So if you want to actually have a master account and sub accounts and stuff like that, and actually charge whatever price you feel is reasonable to your clients, in addition to the value add of managing that for them and interpreting that data, that's something that we'll have. And, what we covered on this call is actually just really kind of the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of other features and analytics and benefits that are baked into this platform. And, because of that, we're going to be doing, monthly calls where, I jump into people's accounts and answer their questions and go over their analytics and talk about that and stuff. So I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun doing that. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Me too. So you've got a white label version coming out. It's not available now, right? But it's coming in the future.
No, it is. It's not. So it's not like a white label. It's a reseller.
Okay.
So it's Vidalytics. So we could do a white label with that, but that's a different conversation.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah.
So, yeah. But right now, I'm more interested in producing videos. It depends on whoever, whatever reason somebody's looking for sharing their videos and analyzing their videos. Again, this is going to be something I'm going to go ahead and start recommending. And
awesome. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your time, man. And
absolutely. This was fun.
Good luck with your business, man, too.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right.